Head of Center of Aging Studies, University of Ghana, Legon. Yes, anyone say Nana Oheninto, or a member of Movement for Change, and Nana no for you, so National Chairman PPP, Bababe Kai Homunyamai. Instead in command be fierce here. Prof Marty.
Hey, come.
Yeah.
Major Sona, boom.
Yamini Hene, yeah, Pimsoko Enterprise.
Peace FM.
And I pay not just say. The baby kind of the piece even young coupons.
Aseda.
Mama Alipa Achen.
Which show white TD.
Oh, yeah, just a many present. Be easy for no. Woman Yakocho, and you see, wish you well.
Amper.
And pay me go far. Miami School, University of Ghana Primary School Hall. Any Mokoche and some Kitwaka Krabi.
Some they are no mapping.
It's easy on Corano. Oh my, thanks, Kakrabade. Who say 570,000 and plus, and I register. Or more echo started with Brofocasa and across over 2,000, centers nationwide. And not just say the Dicano Yadi as the PCA and Menyankopon say. Wama every nyaso until say come and say the only me view on this and say and the CBA free hono see Montreal dia we wish them very well say be pass it ama pass ye and we are happy for them obia ehunu say yes all day churo be on some o nine ho ana we tiku na me ka chen kura na se me hu bia se bi o ma tweno o machi o moto na obede anda na ho ahede wa twero wa chi a o copy enti ni nyina ya depa enti nkura no yesro mo a they must be decent, ethical, onfa ade a yensi wo kwan se wo de be ko edem ho and say wo de wa adwene be ko ho obi yensi wo kwan so yes, don't go with any foreign material, go with your own mind, brain, nafao, other useful instrument or math set. Maybe a box no, me found ko yi mako or ruler or can say come back here they draw at the mechanism crumple. Me refi sad now this
compass.
Compass.
Yeah, no.
Maybe back on the compass round review. You already see one and I.
Mom, technical address.
Yeah, me refi is how I'm funny now. Now we raise our pen or pencil. Na fewura ho efe so ye kai mo say wo ko honoma wo ni paper no don't look at others obi o ha na o hwe nkrofo na nkrofo twa na metu he the more you do that the more you become anxious and the son say nyame adoma we abro sam in about 2 weeks or so no ma wi it wish them very well. Na yede afutokran so de ama ye maamenom ne yejanum se sabri no enkura no ye fi na oba fia kona koton tomatoes bra kona koton mekobra kujo na koton kubi mom ye njai sa na sa period e down wani mi oba amane dwene edi amane sua no akohome na ye kakra sa revise kakra na okotworo. It is a period when as I say man the best of care I binya dia mayemba no na omachro na ja onyame ya na mo pasia mako na mumu no se de yedi bia meta aka no ka no hwe mofra dodo yi a samu wi a ensesanka nso hwenti ebi ntumi nkusku
hona asem no
me trouble nsese o metumi ayen nso hwe ise na nka nso hwe no rather no kwa me a kire bebi ankora no ahode ne wo. So the examination is to discriminate and to find out say akorei okọ secondary school na we be technical we be vocational we be we na che say eba baby our scores no more no na che say you say wa ho den wo but it should not be an examination a chere say wan yadi enti ontumi nko ani
psychologically can harm
I think we are disturbing the children enti no dey menim say na answer me hu say na say considering. Did you see that?
Yeah, say ye free home.
Yeah, I think that we should do now. Anchor.
Officer,
oh, Kwame, we should this examinations. Well, as a sank examination come identify their strengths.
Okay.
Can so here
instead of their weaknesses.
Exactly. Is identifying their strengths and where they can be placed. And a crown bit to me, I call technical school, bit to me, I call vocational, bit to me, I call secondary school, bit to me, I call inti urban. Now when you say was course no are aggregating on a particular path for you. Say obekoha. That's how me mabidimo. Me say sana say no. Inti strengths discriminators. Ahoden a so you chere say baby ahoden wo ne baby a say ye de woto. Na moment say ye nso hwe a chere say wan ya de watwa 1000.
Wa bon kofie.
Kofie ndi kofie da bi. I will get there. I'm hoping say penny for no 80. Ama ye mano ya momo a future kwame dachia dachipa. Na mo ye dachia I say discriminate against some of them enti. We see one yade. Na kwame wonu say nkora na bi wo honoma o ma adisua ye mo den. But say wo mano eniema boa mo odene nsan ya you be shocked.
Yeah.
You be to me aye. Nti yin na be to me aka they go and they come and they way so no. But kwame obeko obi a o se won ye akonwa ma o hwe we say design akonwa na afa na wo mpa oda so ne plumbing work obeya wa ba hu say yes abranti bia na ye ma o me fie even Simon any baby also say
yeah. Okay.
Simon was just incredible. Just say ne skill pa ne competence or demonstrate say obana of fixed pipes kwame you will love it. But eja prof ya kai ya Queen's English you mean kabi so enti ye won mo fran bia ye betumi aboa won na ma fasa akwa enti ye ko yanim no I think that's where we should be thinking about. Say how do we conduct examinations a day and mo fran unique attribute and strengths eba na ejina so ediemo atoto maybe also moko na we so amamba ye we amawi obehun say in the next couple of months na another pressure on secondary school ako now we for how we are giving ourselves pressure for nothing and no sabe be a die so as man but the atna amama nkrubis you don't even hear this it's seamless akwana we be nkwa e bi kura omo mpesa moto aso kura they can work a little bit in shops and whatnot a year or two no cop enti abusuafo nkomanani if you see the no we wish Mbufano very well na minimum say this particular group number ya they are saying wunyina aname kai say come say I was may one of the pioneers yen ye start here chroye BC 1989-90 no na che say the American minimum the American pa media mafambi enti yes me can de obi aka kire me mafambi those days near about almost 15 subjects. Me music, you know, me literature, you know.
Yeah, those one.
Me literature, me music, me kind of say vocational skills, me technical skills, me agriculture, you know, OGHS.
Wow.
Yes. But the equity, you know, na yes, on this one, you hundred and crown be yamo. And you know, minister education ministry, they are doing fantastic job. And you know, everybody mabaso na you wishing crown so kwame good success. Now kwame also and then also then
me say emema
kwame
ya be politics kaka but
and then the emema pa but kwame say onyame adom on the 4th of July said
how did it go last Thursday?
Kwame
say ya wade training
me me say me not to say nyame ayade
good
ye ura baumia any entourage by na me safa afidie su bi wadi asida
yes ne o master friend divider
mo AW
minimum compass
I said I metal bi no
e twa no ho any minister friend compass and I see there bi obi so see divider enti o de nya hwe ye nkokwa ne mera
e ma fo se abon we isu bi aje e kwa me bre wa enti
4th of July.
4th of July. Also for Bram. Ichiao pa me ne kwame ichiao. Also for Bram or Brahabe Bome. And Joseph Bram. Na mi shira pa utie or see utie me ne kwame utie pa.
Okay.
Also for Bram. And to come 4th of July. Ye nua ye mpanyini amampanyini abedi achiri baumia ne no entourage kwame ho beduo. Now when Mr. Kwame, that day was a very tight day for the man.
The 4th.
That day na okoyine ne
Ampo.
that same day.
That was last Thursday.
I'm telling you, and your program no, and the first programmer Obai. And to be honest with you, Kwame, it was a humbling experience. Say Papa no made about 1 hour 10 to 20 minutes for us. That's a lot of his time.
Over an hour.
I'm telling you. But now man is speech for it was incredible. And you know as the
Obisu Semenka say a slide rule.
Slide. Come when kayo.
Na omo kai mi nyina no.
Ebe compass.
Emrewa ne nkokro bi all of them are above 50.
Enkra no ankasa me kan kire na.
Okay. Nana Okesi. Or say in the math set, you have a divider, compass, protractor, set square, ruler, and an eraser.
No, a compass.
So which is which?
A compass.
And the seven can try. I'm trying. Miss na mini maths you. Obviously, compass and divider are all tools in the math set. You. Yada masipi.
My idea. Mokayampa.
When na oka? Where a divider?
Where divider? Come here, no sweat you.
Yes, where a divider?
Where divider, mum?
I
know I can. Yes, a metal with you.
Where divider? Regina descended me. Reggie me that say.
Reggie, my idea.
I'll see a divider.
Yeah, bomb. Na kwame nti oba na obe do na ade na mbo abeba no so ebe ne ye kasa about it na eda na me ba ha no me kan wonim say also penny ye kan say Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams no entumi mbaba kwame ordinary sini also for Johnny na ne yere Bishop Johnny na me enshida opa na yenga ye prophet Kwame prophet Yawano.
Hey, ICGC.
Prophet Yawano.
Fraha.
Oh, me call in channel say, oh, prof, we the Dano, a bear diame. But meba.
Okay.
I'm panswa went to me and manso Osma Obi.
Great.
Osma Obi, Emma, what the why a dear. Come, a boy. One year buy also for a jar qua or a jar qua. Hatchery area, Church of Pentecost. Or also, be a Sankan about Osma or so for Ghibli and Bobby. Come, dear. Now, I only Kissia Jabe, honorable.
Aquasbita.
Dear, now I have a minute here. Tintin, and you Kissia Jabe. Oh, Kissia Jabe. I don't kiss rather. I don't kiss it.
Adumaku Kissi. Medical doctor, Collins. Adumaku Kissi. MP Dixon. Aduma Kiss Anya Sutio. Dixon Aduma. Great. Hey. Oh, Prof Chinipa.
Oh, just say me say. Just say oh by anukwana your chairman be bibinti unya problem. Na you catch oh na kwame wajatum. Emma or by ebe boy. And mpanyifo e ka ho nyina and then no me say boss media de bia me ba ha medamase. Na kwame yiwi nti honorable na menhira opa ene mo amba idi nyina Prophet Yawano na kwame even school hokora mpo no Professor Kote that is on economics.
Yeah. Peter Kote.
Aye obai and ordinary idea come ebe boy Professor you can say Bawley Justice Bawley When me ba.
Bawley.
Wa busy ja.
Me ne ko ye book launch bi Mr. Kofi Amwabeng book launch.
Oh, okay.
Or be a reviewer.
Oh, great.
Or University of Ghana Business School.
Exactly.
Yeah,
on the 18 ho. Among some under them more. And college secretary Benedict. College of Humanities. And me registrar. me am a registrar Emilia J Mensa, you know, or the ne can say ni wait ebe tachi director of public affairs Ameya Brunya, Dr. Ameya Brunya. Enna can say vice chancellor that no too quite, but O2 na be the actually a year Professor Gordon Wandari.
I know Wandari too.
Aye, na obetamutnemu throughout. And the VC Professor Nanaba Pianfo and Babedi actually Professor Gordon Wandari. We are Center for Aging Studies. Aging Astronaut Damunina, Cinema Mobile na committee for comedy or Danwa or Madi committee Madi a course winner. I say Bosmedia Meneman a comic celebrity my idea. Aging a home for so pa come over Babia. Ya no 30 opa a friend Apostle Emmanuel Jesse Ado. Omana
Apostle Emmanuel Jesse Ado.
Ona that Pentecost missions na no. Say Pentecost maybe come here do this here.
1 point time.
Dabi meka nkuru ayakoso.
Dabi.
Say all the Ghana can have 170 countries.
There's some person we country prekon.
Yeah. Nyamiado ya come 170 countries. Akabe 20 or 22 na afa biase nyina.
Wow.
Enti onna na oda no. Also chiao. Me fa ni chia maun. Online. Apostle Jesse Ado, former IMD Church of Pentecost, retired. Come say waje unchia. I mean shirao for the good worker or you know. Come yen come mema hwasem.
Na
me no want to hear it. When him say mema ade bia ya obeti bema nsu etu eto a etwe bema bon.
Yeah.
Bema na no maduru ayo nwunu. Kwame globally. Mema nsem ya ade a yentanka.
Oh, area share for na
globally.
Anya Ghana pe.
Debi. If we say traditionally no, mema ihu omo to say enkrofo a ese say omo ye strong, ese say omo ye invincible. Bibin to me bema de ensu mema ese say omo ye enkrofo a owukura kwaye baby pra no kra we nya de a yehu omo as enkrofo a ese say omo demonstrate courage. Yehu omo say enkrofo a ese say omo exhibit bravery, you know, in the face of adversity. Enti ade enkoye kra so miao abeye o break it down kra jawana so yehu mema say they must demonstrate power, they must demonstrate independency, control, invulnerability. Adia untumi ye kra bema de as say utumi ye.
Aden it is
It's because we hear from anthropological perspective and from one archaeology archaeological perspective. How much I say remember over the period societies global you who remember say the world is for men. Woman na chichiri kuru woman na chichiri your mind enti no kwame yete say de wo wapira na obi a na ho ye ne den aba na nipa ne say wa opira no so nante you say obenya confidence in the person na waba won chen say omeboa. That's exactly the picture. And the men were seen as creators and builders of society.
Obi din Krebia basis your say friend Dr. Kosa.
Okay.
Or say you're talking about the compulsive masculinity syndrome.
Hey.
I know say that. Anyway. Or say God help men, Dr. Kosa. Or say Prof is talking about the compulsive masculinity syndrome. Compulsive masculinity syndrome.
Kwame, na mimi no akose.
Nana Fredia.
Ai nana.
Ono so oye be men su ni bi.
Nana
oye mema adwuma.
Nana di obesu. Au nana. Nana mini pa o. Wa say we jam atum nana na.
No ana so aishi.
Asemi adu be.
1,000
Yes I am it here.
Yeah.
On friend Crawford here in school. On friend.
My friend, no, Nana, me de bro.
Asomaba me pay me ho asemo.
Nana de waba. Enti Kwame.
Yes.
Sa de me nua kan no. Ye de shekete ato mema so from our social arrangement. The way our society is set up, and it's across the globe. Emma, and men may wukura and say, oh, you know, nice. Men are also not expected to share emotions. The entire Tisani say, Ayani who say, so Bema Edda Atin can be a dear. It's a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
And I've told people over and over, say, Kwame, Atinka expressing emotions and yet a sign of weakness. It's a sign of being a human.
Yeah, but yentisa.
Yes, but I didn't yet say, yeah. And yet,
and then Dr. Kosa can say a compulsive masculinity syndrome.
Yes, and men are not supposed to feel shame. And he said, "Bema be upad." And I remember you said, "So I'm gonna come." It's a serious thing, and globally, it's been a problem. In fact, for about a decade or two now, you're nearby who say, "You're a mema." And a man named Mofra, because of the penchant for vulnerability, a man and we left the men. But no crescent power, I want to say, if men are the fulcrum, Kwame, if they are the pivot, so one of my the center say, now they are not in good shape. I can tell you there'll be a mess. There will be a mess because se fapimoni ya de awudi gina so nyina enye
na se fapim ni nya no ye mema na ya tete ye se yinsu ye nkyere se ye raho esan se ye sa pa ye se bi ma mo fa nkyem ye se o mema na ada ne ma wo ye be ma na usu ada ne oba wo ye be ma na o kyere se o atinka bi a se bi wo ye mre wo ye soft onya hard enti saade no ne aya miedi nyini enti me bre me ho kyere me bat me ntimi nka na ehye me ho
en kwame de enti ate say me kan no we socialize your man right from the word go ohunu say ebia odi agro we pray up so hey mensu don't cry hey my boy that's it. You are programming the child say usua atenka enye because I said mishia obi now I was going through some experience be until whom and I said me I said oh debi now also until me training in nche na me ka say listen me yam before
yeah
me nipa and I'm busy and say have you read in the scriptures that and Jesus wept I say I'm saying that is the true man. And Jesus wept. Now Yesu is swing. And Yesu not just say, now or weakness. No.
Yeah.
And you know, as I say, sad in the way you see a process your home. Now obi asama to obi and I say be or how be a dobi so now or share with hey now yes sir soon any idea until we socialize our children. Say mema munsu mema monka say mema mon yese na odi nyini enti akrana nkasa feels ashamed say obesha emotions na say otna abusia bi ye ultra patriarchal meka ultra patriarchal che say ho de ye hihye mema no say mema nkasa eburu aye buru mo ye bomotomba ye bomochimba ye say mema dutim enkasa ensu ade bi prano moje tu no se kan tum don't talk enti men Kwame ye nyino no na ya be emotionally flat kakra na fe ye pese ye chere nkrofo say we are the men enti ye prakra ye nka but sane man na ye nyina no ehwemu chere se Kwame it affects men's mental health my man statistics bi na hale
me too
ye nim say globally
if you are self and you know
a man etaye depressed Kwame esen but if you are self and you know a man etaye depressed esen a man in fact WHO report in 2019 she say ohanchi mu 5.5 emba eta be depressed someone ye boson esene emema but come say ohwe baby to say suicide we are suffering nyina 75% of men globally as compared to 25% of women we are suffering nyina and men me come hontem esene ba
Pressure.
Pressure. Number 2, access to weapons. Number 3, yes, bravery na. Yedi ewuro muse obemen so ade. Enti
It's no bre.
Yes, no bre. Ti memma no yusu enioma etumi ku montem. Oba akofa tuo. Oba akofa aduru a ebi ku nentem. Obehuri every baby a obofam a obewu. Enti ombe yusu enioma ebeji ne kwantem as oba. We are no free Kwame.
Is it because by that time na ameno?
Ameno, eno yesi memensu. Yesi memanenka enchiro bi say baby ha na dwenti memanka. Ehwemu kire say we asa fa na nyina. Emema less likely say obeko akwaje moa asane oba. Ente say opra bibi wi na onko da. Wo de mema na etiem no obi omefra ka kire wo. Na yire ka kire say da ade ye yonko o am okay. Meko akoto edu bi na me de adwoso onko da onso da hwa na me wi a memma science bi a ebebo amba no mahunu se nikunu is going through bredia on person be kana man sa science no enti oda ho na ode ho no sorry obe sorry several times in the night oba no make so ko so most of the time yes bibi wi no ntumi nda enti onya access to eniema akode bi a bitumi epra in terms say tuoni ade a before Sabeka Jack, Kwame na wajine kwa. Now, for example, Ghana had a study be 2021 near suicide among men.
Yeah.
Kwame, enima be mi ensebia be dead no. Mame fantuja. Emma emema eje mon kwa pa o Ghana ha. De di kan no eye be ma Kwame nanim aguase. Memo example.
Yeah.
Obama bi ekwa asori. Wafa na eri achi. Ena asori no ese ibetu na san. Because asori no so hihye wo. Enti sabi ontumi nkwa asori no a woto ha onyenye mkrofo basa. So enti yetu na san. Yetu ni san ya animkwase aka no.
Yeah.
Enti sa asori no amen no. Ana na yire amen no. Ana na namfo amen no na adwene bone abaniti shame mema ntumi kura Ghana obeko sisi ya mema ye ho ye hwe abusua ye kom nchen hwe mema ewu ni nyina kwame efa eye ni muase ferie fenyinam owo those are the ethno-philosophical themes eye nsem kan bi e wo a ahyehye mema adwene ene won atenka number 2 aye hunu ya eye serious kwame a loss of economic opportunities.
Oni adwuma.
Say be man ni adwuma. Na adwuma say na obafie na oba na ehihye fie, oba na toto aduane, oba na eto electricity, oba na eya na ma bebre ewo Ghana ha na ene ebibiri ma no. Kwame ya tete ema no bi ama omadwene ahyehye say obema na wo say ohwefie.
Yeah.
Now, Obiacho article be the commoditization of womanhood.
The commoditization of womanhood.
It is said here, Obano, Bema no Equana, Okotono. I say commodity. Na, and near mana, Memano de Kawa, the ACDS, on Famra. Some of the tribal groups may muscle come. It is like you are virtually
buying the
woman.
We could talk about
now obi a study bi ohunu say Kwame there is a strong link between a mema bi a oware say bema na dwene ye ne say metisika wawa eye ne say otoba no
yeah
na ema bema no eta atene ne nsa ebosa ma ti obema hunu say me aware amekoware no matisika toba no pa Kwame abuse rampant enti amana bi wo hono ma on hefie no a be ma na adwuma ase na ye ne ya na me ntumi na me de pie na me de adan na me nkwa na me ye na wo ye be ma na wo de pie na mba fo na en saade man ekum me ma no ma wan
e me be super chair say and maybe so boy papa.
Oh, why not?
Ebia na adwuma say, but obano ejinemu te senia asembie nsie.
Yes.
Ba ku bia no mo ka che say be man adwuma say be 3 years. In 3 years no obano to benz mano. Be man nam. Obi anim obi na nya kwa na ese adwuma say. Sena obana na etanachi.
And Kwame, those
and in the 3 years na onye adwuma no. Yes, in the to Benz Mercedes car man. Just say Obane bra, Okoba. But send us she Nicotrem, Obana Neheno for 3 years. And so no Juma. How about that also?
Yes. Me Kwame, me Madame Fubi. Or worry ya pe Adichin de Juma say. Oh, 4 years no Juma. Me Kwame me worry na me Juma.
Now Juma.
Munia ba maybe 2 years.
Now go worry yet.
Hey, now say I'm worry yet. It's a part of the issue.
Debbie, Prof, nature may be sensitive. Who say you say on worry and now go pour by a day?
Debbie, that's not the way it should go.
Yeah.
Woman say, me worry na me Juma, but me contracts. And say be a regularly sikeba, bos me be a. But the boom so neko. But the baby wa and no crime for no. Abaka so. But only about on the cremusa. And maybe one they are just excellent. But come those are outliers.
And you're the norm.
And yeah, the norm. And yeah, dear Tessie. Most men echo once a much wa. Abaka say, Najuma say, you know, I dare near the end. Tiani percent man being so no, or muties and comedy. Say, men may you say, or Ghana ha. A risk for suicide. When I make kind of rosa, so obey be an adjuma say biano. Would you agura or begging one?
Really?
Or begging in conference? Would you agura or begging in conference? And you know, these are some of the things. Number 3 are you here, Kwame? A sexual incompetence.
Yeah, abajin it you.
Abaj be met you or Ghana.
Oh, now say prof say in no be or doctors were.
Hey, Kwame. A man say, Omoko. Yema mundru ense bi wo ha ndru no no mo na ade no abaye brebi doctors na chase say for example mema ewo cardiovascular disease se bi
akomayare
enti o manage a ebi wo ha ne susu so ba ko ne say briefly ubenya
light off
but enya ade a and this describe no papa ba ono mo a eno kwa no o mebo manage better say be manage o blood pressure sense o manage nti ana me man e tu mo for say monko na ye ma mo say ndo na mo manage mo but onko na light of no esia Kwame in this kind of environment e timu a member wo mo sexual prowess say obema no etumi sebe or na iri etumi kompaso ana se bia otumi enyem na iri Kwame so we kan kwankwa bia se nkomodie Obat na utumi oyere nti waja ono.
Yeah.
Kwakwan you say e hona what abuse of men now na utumi ranka oja. Esom kon no aka kwase sabi no ordinator. Enti mema ni bi e kan say kwakwan you say atem didie. If you say bribi ankoyi amano e wo mpem. Sane mama yensen e wo Ghana e risk for mema eji omonkwa. First, shame. 2, loss of economic opportunities, and 3, sexual incompetence. And as I say, any bahon, now come a quiet first of cry, yet a man boss, and he most chere Adibia and Pesset quickly me bosso. The dick and say, yeah, near to tea and man boys now, and once in now were boys once upon a time. Oh, a boy, Minia, Nana, into a base, some time ago, no, or your boy, Nana Fredia, or 2 years, some time ago, were boys. I said about now who's your boy, but never sent out. Now, Kwame were boys, but and he may be a fame, and you say our parents were abusing us, not at all. Nina na eka the training model, acquire no one says, son, yet Bema. Me as young as 13, many major call a fuma. odo for be about 10 acres. Me actually be a mommy. 13 years. Me hear me back my last born already 13 years. Listen, Nana, you would have been weeding. I say, oh, daddy, me I can't do it. But he actually the army, not me do. And because those days that was a model. Say me to take on a bema, or a head of a family, a busia, eti man teteno, no enyante tea, on me any fee. And it made a lot of sense. Tia mano, yet tiomo, yamo fa, ahu boys no kakra, essen and bano. Ye bought a man who buy, but ye de a man no fa ahu and pre research actually say, sound ye and I the boys femono. And warm mental health.
Really?
Yeah. And warm. And they say, what name fam? Oh, and the other day. Men soon. Number 2, bullying in schools. What can I say? Me no better have some of the schools in the world. Or back cry their chronic pride.
I decided.
Yes. Bullying. But your own school, no, boys, they say, when you're day. And so when you're day, we are bema. And so when you're day, say, what they know. And Crawford, where a meme for. In front of you, only a meme for. A meme for is it wickedness? A meme? No, actually.
Mean.
Okay. Like to say, Nitimu Ode. And I can say, Nitimu Ode, obey me a pra of a fro. Now, crying you are coming. When Yantity a powerful, if we say, a Quanan Casanson, ni parent air abuse no. Minimobia or the electric wire a bonny bubble. Or bona me the chin na yukru. Or say a cranny is stubborn. But in your much says, I crana or the electric wire a bono. I dare not obey internalize it. Not all the caught of frost. And in your much say, so we are different longitudinal studies. I would dear crana chin our head says Subana Beko. Most of them are more engineer what it says Subana at the core. What they call home offices. They become bullies in the offices. And yeah, no, Kwame Young said, a member at a use of substances
in Ruboni.
Globally. Boys, no. Okay, a month ago, okay, this was Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone about to declare a state of emergency. If you say, well, man, Kwame kush is kush.
They don't pay dead bodies.
And nipa no, penipa ya uno. No man can exhume or man could do any perfume. No man, you know, I am. No man, instantly. And Sierra Leone buy any better. You said they need help because we will not the boys abuse substance all over the world. And bring Ghana make us say, Kwame, say, oh, friend, one narcotics control authority or board.
Yeah.
Authority now.
Yeah, authority.
Authority. Now,
Narcotics Control Authority.
Yeah. No much said yeah, my boys whatever. In the schools, our boys are exposed. And yeah, no Kwame, yeah, my boys no. You much the same bring make us say yeah studies be afa yeah ma universities in the public university in Ghana. You reach up to about 6,500 of them. Now, here, Kwame suicide. Yema, Emma, Sebe, and many be. I show money your mother, and I told Monano 20% in the past 1 year. No, a say Omoja or Hanchimudu.
Wow.
And you know what is happening in our schools? Our boys are not doing well. Now, when one is beginning so, no man baby and penny. And as I said, you take it a member issue serious. Come here, ADHD. So what is that now?
And then ADHD. Debbie.
A friend say attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I can be your how to maintenance. Most of the time, we transio on side. A member a camp boys more.
Are they a strain beyond?
Yes, because a bitch say sometimes a testosterone a hormone now. More.
ADHD.
Yes. ADHD.
In I thought you say HDHD.
ADHD. And the member tenya no more. Esene eba. And the woman say and so crack obi pra more.
No, then you
ADHD. A lot because according to me on to me and pay attention. And now they often become bullies Into what child in the class now? Or bet scatter class. Oh, child, best one. Hey, no, I do.
That's the character.
Yes,
trait.
that's
That
me.
is okay. She's a petri.
No, we know.
There's a difference.
Yes, I can be how come here petre, but omiti the diagnosis no, and we know. Say or diagnose no, ordinary psychologist or psychiatrist here diagnose you, and we can easily tell. In fact, be or what, do by 12 years they receive what they call conduct disorders. Or yeah, so what can I say? Because we are coming, yeah, bad, because it's bad. Most of them are conduct disorders. Or yeah, I say antisocial behavior or breaking school rules. They are young pen we are for her, or we are the or her, akraba could be or compare a tie. Now, teacher for no tie, no, or tie, no, trouble.
Disorder.
Now,
I didn't
yeah, now think or you're completely disordered.
Prof, two quick contributions that for two so me person utienya amount for video mo dia bana yintie. Eric Compulsive tax expert or say, I'm happy you're having this conversation. Prof, men go through a lot, especially psychosocial stress, and it often kills them because they don't discuss their problems with their peers or professionals. A friend of mine died only last week.
Ooh.
We are aware that his wife was giving him stress, but he kept quiet because he's a church elder. Now he's gone. And there you one. Bemen soon asim ni biano no. And near ye kai intimi kan ye dia share ho. And we dey a rabbi no de bibi ascend me. Na only my branch be friend a call a suman.
Yes, but
call a suman or ye President Akufo-Addo lawyer. Okay. Where the course utia obina de send him in a, so technically I'm stealing from your page.
right.
Or say poor mental health could lead to heart problems and could even drive someone to the point of ending their own life.
Sure.
This issue is even worse for men. Men account for 75 to 80% of deaths by suicide globally. Sure. That's what you were talking about, yes. Prof. It's 4 times more than women.
Sure.
Every year, many men are led to their graves because they fail to pay attention to their mental health. I don't blame them. It's difficult for men to open up about many things. Wow. Men go through a lot that they don't talk about. It's just not the way men are created, or perhaps it's the way society has evolved to keep men from sharing their most intimate thoughts because it makes them look weak. The truth is that many men want to talk and open up about their feelings. They want to maintain a healthy state of mind and well-being. What are the men supposed to do? Stay silent and let mental illness that drive us to death continue to kill us?
Absolutely no.
Certainly not. I am happy to learn that June is dedicated to mental health awareness, especially for men. Perhaps this should be emphasized more. Let's create a safe space for men to seek help for any mental illness they may be battling or to simply talk. Men need to come out of the shadows and share their experiences with mental health and how they overcame them. This would encourage other men facing the same or similar situations to seek help. Call Abaka Esuman, titling it Prioritizing Men's Mental Health.
Great piece. Cool. It's a good piece. And Kwame said somebody can was summarizing it now.
Yeah.
And one here can say a mema and some and a mema handsome. Oh Kappa, Nancrofo, na said the can be a mema dear say. But Kwame and walk around, I'm like say Bema fapema. If we see men say omo fapem, ewo ebusuya, ewo community, and in the nation, say omo atenka, no omo adwinmu ensem enkoya. Kwame, we get just say we are in trouble. We are in trouble. Sometimes I go back and said there were waves of acid throwing on women.
Yeah.
Oh, na be maybe now twice a good so. I say Adada me say my hand one twice a good so. No, the second one. All of those things, no. Come and yes, a member, no, member, as I know, ekoyi enkoye biribi nkoyi enti no esese yehunu ekwan a de dikan emema na nkasa what they should know and ya one etoso mienu say na yen a etwa omuhihia especially a man a etwa mema hohia what should they do to help them because mama be Rebecca overcome as say Mary accounts me mua say na ne yere kan ana say bi beka say Mary de omboa me kura then na ne yere ya omboa no enti no dedi kan no come a few things for a man am pese boss
okay
na bema bia otie me no ontie nieme yi a ese oye bema ese oye dedi kan no bema bia nyintum se oyinipa anye bofo
semo
ti ase se wonye bofo ena wonye bonsam so oye nipa madam in the kan I say man is between God and the devil enti ono oye nyankopon ono aso anye bonsam ono ani real enti we nipa na we nipa idie o mere oye o ahoden o de obetumi aye ena wo de wontumi ye enti nyasante ase no number 2 accept what you can control and what you cannot control
okay
let me be ehunu say ade bi wo ho a ebro so enti wontumi anya ho hwe enkasa me ye be ma meye dabi for example kwame ohun so apomudi enkoyi nansan okoda obe rolling on bed sa ade bi wi open up and talk sani manon kasa metumi no na kwame dia atenka dia wo mema ho ne say isan say am I more relational as a mema and then it's a psychological difference between men and women.
Okay, say my more relational as in say
it me edin komo
okay
eba oba between obi akanasem
ngon konsan komo
oba between a friend yankoba no wa kan de to no no asu aka ho no wa hye ne nkuran be manye da ebi say yen say oh yeah ne yonko be man be ka say na den na wa chale bi a man mako be me bi asema to no won ya e kono nchen a o commiserate with the person kwame oko ho no they went there with patriarchal words patriarchal encouragement obona ji papa oh kwame I know you are a strong man. That is a wrong way to
no akwewu.
It's a wrong way now because asadi it's a public knowledge yenia penini so for penini also for is to the anaba
yeah
because me can because oba GTV
abe kan so sun ye
o say ne man free mono one year ban in chamber oh man of God I know God is with you hey man of God you can rise up. That is not the way say obi efa oyamu especially mema and yes I kwan so any na kasa.
I see he broke down at a point.
Yes. As I said, ubetumi akon nchen a wote ne ho kwame na on sakra dan so and you are silent. Won ka he.
Yeah.
Won sada ne nsa so ana won sada na chi why din. Mema etumi identify with such silence so deeply. Na odu hope na ofi asese o na che say o kai ka no and especially sorry no me the way because obi kan say nipa no obi afrimu a oya sorry panyi ontumi nka because kwame in fact be say paragonic expectations.
Yes.
Oh asori mu a na we elder and na we asori panyi obia is like we call it fishbowl syndrome obia hu life enti say wu kura me yesofo yi obi say me says so ponti ya ade bi hawa na
nanka
e che say ene say me yesofo yi bibi hamadwe na odi bisa bi say me yesofo yi ese say me gina homa no eni say me no me ntumi nyina ya no so obey na gina yi but o kana me nya abada age cheche ne say me yesofo bas me nipa enipa mu ne yi me fi me yebofo enti me obri bi a me were ho ade bi ye me ya asem bi wo hono ma ankoyi me yemfom so bi ni nyina come to me enti sade onipa be hye na tenka fa no menso me bomodi ansa me hye na tenka enti omu na ma ye mental health issues in my church na ma church mo me ma no sade we see handle until member no money to say the obet me a control with me a hesonly control now the own to me no ma afoforo emberemo number 3 ese be me bia no etuminya obia otumi no edin komo na wo ka wasem chire no ntina nsan kwame some of the boys things na eba no mo ma yen fa no nsan ko a mo me yen fa nko yen na mo nko a mo me yen fa nko ye sporting event nko a na mo boys pastor na enye baby ya kwame otumi is a safe space otumi ka bibia hawa meaning boys we bia obi ekoka na asam say abaya jini to for some 3 months na ane anadwene but obuye mu ekachire na damfo no bo modern ejembo ama no and then no why fine because na yen say anka onko no maduru kwanku no na damfo no say bi it's a brief way my enko na yenko hu a urologist ampanso ohu urologist no and a urologist yen hu adwuma na de aka na psychological no o mo refer a psychologist e mo he no why come enti po bia woni no ebetumi adi ho enkomo eboa pa afi kwame yenya mema no yitwa to ne say yesremo a mon seek help psychologists wo ho psychiatrists wo ho if any say
prof what the can say by the time I wear bema sabi when you when you know you've been programmed
yes
so won seek help
yes
umre unsu who seek help by a sign of weakness who catch na no into the brapani baby amigine who feel say obehu say anya be man anim na me o into my film and some bedru ha now kakra wo femu so enti we programmed to see it as a weakness enti who catch me say menko pemwa no how do I get out of that mental state say as a menya be menti na me kwa kopachew and I'm going to switch obi say omwame.
Come, that's a very loaded question, but my main year no emphasize so. I was say enya ntiase efa enipa esu na adwene nhyehyɛ ho say number 1. Enipa adwene no kwame eye malleable. Me come
I know what you're saying.
It me flexible. It me suade. And the other psychologist can say brebi wo ho a yedi ahye wo sua no you can learn and unlearn. And ayampa say a program here. But come we are not brick and stone. Ye to me edane adwene. In fact, eno ne ade ba ko a ema enipa dan so pa sabi e wo ada private. Ye to me sua de omon krampo no onse utmi kire sabi aboade ma ni sua. Ema dolphins say omutmi sua de chimpanzee tmi sua de. But ye de no the capacity to learn say nipa huge. Enti yes remember no the fact say ampa yedi afa biribi mu na ahyehye yadwene na atwa mfonyi bi e wo yadwuma kire say wo ye be ma ensu ade bi to wa enka uwu kura wo de ewu mu menka say uwu to a be ma bo be ma no ma do nyun sa na nyina ho de nanso no me ka say ya obetumi afiase asesa wadwene. How do you do that? And I'm a kind of pe obia obetumi aka wakoma so nsem how eri a kire no. Eni ade a me hu say ebu amema ni pa. Obi o na dan for e oba panyin bi ana papa panyin bi ana se bi a ono ana yere. Mema ni bi ho kwame na nsan stories are meeting my colleague. Some of them are doing so well. Omutmi buye mo ho ka kire mo yere mo say adwo a fidie ade no ameme. And it means that the capacity is there. Now, when we say our conversations are here, and none na ebie crime no. I'm who say yes, you crazy. And the baby na baby hammer dwena mesin bi so me ri anymore. Na wabo me enye fere. Na mo maka ne say wie no. My man never be me ense bi a man so won yembo am.
Yeri na me bi say want to obi the questions bi kakra bi am me bi say we na ye de abawie.
Am ye di kan. Memma or baby a beme so on a year anymore, a man won't you. Oh, near our nose, hey, quasi, when a moon. Hey, I don't know what you yeah. And a moon,
no, yes, Sadeke.
Yes, man. Some cook no a soon anymore. de di kan ene say obetumi abamono bamono mi ane hye okukum ho na be ma no ensungu so enka say ye na me ye wure animu ehu ese usu nya kura sa papa bi o kana asam kire o se da mi bue ma no se misu nsem na America kire se kwasi wani mehu se sumusu mienu pa heavy hanum mint na ha na o kasa asam kire be ma ye pese me ma ni bue mo na mo kan asam wo ba na utumi su ukunu so na ukunu utumi su mu so nti ma no eni ni di kai allow the men to express their emotion mo kwan no muntumi emma omatenka endedi. Number 2, obey bia ukunu adwuma say na wabafie na wo hye adwuma mu na wabafie 9 10 pm 8 pm na oba no wada be man mo so sorry no onam na yesa opa opesi in a room no akọ no ba kwame sa niema na hu no a sign of distress in a man en ka say omikunu de ono de on de na a distress onto me na no de sana to so na to no sorry no trans kakra no so ka bible na mema na ekwa sorry o mo de kwa na e dangerous because we hu
or the bible akata
so and I say no I say okon so ko bon pa kakra no aba kwame there's a time to sleep e bere wo ha ese woda o say o study room kakra o bon pa
owa
but owa
bibi hwe no
as 6 to 8 hours so nyanda for about 2 months ukununda na o hene sa ano de ya na opempa enti ya ordinary sa kwame I'm telling you what the cardiologist say for omonjo bema anda for the next couple of months kwame one hia obenya heart attack enti on da no akọ se study room so okọ ha na da bi abeda 2 am 3 am now so baby han enti oguso bompa tempa am what to about so enti bema no na opesi up no sorry no akwahye room ono ko be hye hosa no aba be careful opa when it na okunu na onwa di na chi ko ho ko hwe what is happening there obeko no na ti da ho ade na wi no nso beso beka any second sign enti hwe no ne to so miensa e important and say mema no fi ase a mema eko ahohihia mu a kwa me dey externalize. You can say externalizer. Oyi abufuo ni oya no egu se bi oba no so ana mofra no so. Enti hwe ukunu na nsan oteatim gu mofra no so. Wona ne kakakra kana buofu no afi wani no ko. Obohunu se ebi a aduane ade ma no na oja asi ho. Ohono oba ifi na wona kasapa no afi wani mu oyiwa no. O ma sa code we no. Sa ne mani nyina o externalizer ade na we no. Enti catch no pebri bi na yana me catch man say men's mental health se ben no so na me ato handkerchief ma no ma to tie ma no ma to socks ma no ma no yesremo but let us go beyond that obetumi afa okunu kwame na ko hotel bi wa arrange bibi 2 days bi na fa na ko
no se onkwe
beko
me be stubborn
kwame bebiri beko ebi nkoba bibiri beko wo dey try ya na na say mema ye dey ama na matato wo kwame ehwe mu kire say ema efi ase say omo that nurturing and nurturant part of them to mema kwame they respond. I tell you mema efu kwa omo respond obeko na we fi ase ne no edi nkobo daddy meura mikunu medofo my sweetheart edin bi are friend me hunu say we ni unsa obema no nakro me say kwame me o ma sorry hage omoyiro no really use
we say be a stiff
me say just say daddy kran fa no ho ebi hewiem ebi hefam ebi hwencha me say hwa iri anim o to me hwe
onye bi da
ebi say yan teteno in a romantic way ya catch and say we your bema na what they say don't have feelings yi ya onye bema enti woni mu ye but kwame obema to me accept romance I think apa kwame ehihye wona dwene eboa wo in fact what transiche meme bia omoyere natural part of them. So oba no udadi mame yes me massage mame o say they live long or to me can asem chene yere or ni teach eto ne yere so meme bia na to me di komo ofie no amo sre o ko baby no meme na yere kasa 2 minutes hey na jato enti a man take them out fane kwatra baby one no nin komo na be man hunu say number 4 and that's the last point kwame mema ego when mema ego ego no say
many bema
me come interestingly me mu kire say ade ba kon so eboa mema not an ego abuse ma baby ego na mema bi di abuse ma o tietia ni fa hu na oboro na ba no bad ego no in fact a sign of mental illness mema bi rigid. Number 2 domineering. Number 3 dogmatic. So DC or rigid.
That's a fitchery.
And or sheso. And just say, okay, be mama, want bibi kui. Na mumu kwame say bema no if he has to say on one we be na oba no the dino na on the kasa on the din komo na oben kakra daddy mama massage o mama fa nko ha kwame I'm telling you men like it. They like it. Enti a man mama yesa enemi enfamwa emema no na encourage be man say bibi ha na o ha to ade bi obi do say okoto bensema
obi to bensema ni
kachi hukun say mama enfampu na menko service wo kama
there be nancy ma woni mia
ebe mo ya kwame nancy your baby dey o the nikun e ka no ko o service tua kan nyina baba no shock I say hey Maria o mama feel say yeah me will be a otamechi
Prof min commenting kaka Dr. Victoria Baba you so ta send messages pa or say there's that small boy in every man. Once you start to
small boy
or say once you start to nurture it, men respond. But I'm glad you are discussing this. The beginning point is targeting our children and adolescents. Working with boys in the United States has taught me so much. We're empowering girls and leaving the boys behind in mental wellness. How do we expect the men to take care of their mental health when they were not taken care of when they were children? The boys, when they grow up, don't know how to handle the girls. Girls are being empowered to be strong and assertive. Boys are now committing suicide more and engaging in risky behavior because they don't know how to handle their emotions. Dr. Victoria Babani were East Legon. Say Gadus, UK Enfield. I'll say the saying that Ben men soon is one of the worst proverbs ever. We go through so much pain in silence that we don't share. We die a little every day. My neighbor committed suicide on Father's Day because his children never visited nor sent him a card. I knew him personally, but I didn't know his pain. May God save us. Say Gadus enade eno abaye. And Dr. Gideon Boakon from Tano North constituency. Osiotie or Tano North Anopeng. I say part of our culture and traditions and wise sayings have ingrained in us a tendency to think that men suffer not. The saying once we begin saying such things, a man begins to feel shy to show his frailties or has challenges he cannot overcome or internalize. In the end, he keeps everything to himself and suffers alone. Men mostly talk to their friends, but when there's a fallout, like we the women, everything will be out already to other friends. And like you said, men will be teased for showing weakness. Akosia says that one. This one says, okay, or the Mani Kabila, na Kabila dia manimi. There's a discussion going on Peace FM. It's a very nice one, but Prof has not talked about one point. Exercise is one of the things men should consider seriously in dealing with mental health issues. My experience in 2020 was terrible until I enrolled in personal fitness regime. It has been the best decision I've taken in my adult life. well nipa no anchre needing but ordinasem ababetu dwa or say on a light note, a man who gets a broken heart from a woman doesn't know where alcohol is sold. It says in an African proverb. I wonder which kind of proverb this one is. And then let's see. I'm stubborn to the core, and it's because that's my defense. Iron Man and a day and no a buy. And then Ghana is blessed to have a very strong family union, old school unions, community gatherings. We should be able to protect it well because people use their family and friends as a stress buffer. Abe Kusika and no by Prof. There are questions that I'm seeing maybe Nippon says sometimes suicide is the only way out. Okay. For a person to be in a place to take their own life, then that place must be really, really dark for them. He who saves a man against his will is as good as murders him. That's Horace. Okay. But the question is, there will be sign. Also one. Ask Professor Safo, what is the situation with mental health amongst old and retired people in Ghana because of what he's doing? Old age everywhere has two companions, loneliness and illness, old age. And there's a constant problem of poverty, pensioner poverty. Old people in Ghana are stressing rough. On year one, no bisa about old age, loneliness, poverty, disease. How do they handle mental health? And then the second one, I'll say, it looks as if women are mentally more resilient than men. Now, I'll say in the order of prevalence of mental anguish. Okay, I'll say men can't stand ostracization. They have the typical country club mentality, tough guy. For example, when a man's family is against him marrying a woman for whatever reason, the man would or may listen. For a woman, lie, will be too if you're sharp to follow the man. But ask yourself for this. In order of prevalence, near my community suicide or Ghana, I'll say 1, shame. 2, sorrow. 3, despair. Is it the same for men as for women? And what is the age distribution, if there's anything like that? Prof, I'll leave you to look at that. Okay. This one also talks about bullying at the work. Youngson, so actually quite a long one. I'll say occupational health and safety. Another one. Bullying in the workplace, psychosocial hazards, burnout, unstable employment, long hours of work, and sociable hours. He's written quite a lot. And I'll say Obama say, on a debate, a man who gets a broken heart from a woman doesn't know where alcohol is sold. Say, Obama, this is your African proverb. I wonder. So from one prof to the other, Professor Jekum. I'll say wonderful program. Kudos to Prof.
Oh.
80. One I'm betting one. So we I say academic exercise.
Just say Prof is everywhere.
Yeah.
Or maybe I mean, if you look at Obenwa.
Anyway, into quick comments on that, and then I'll take comments from Nana Hinito Nana Fridi and Nefi Yakwe Amanyosem.
Now, quickly. When him come or maybe call Christian Hayana.
Aye.
Okay. Omo counselor oh.
Me dikai na
Kwame omo here
Bakuka was is here.
Omo some here boys boot camp, and I think say there should be something say unya ebre ema to engage them because omo koka some of these issues said your boys is it omo ye raise your na lead to the yekin mimi no da no na Kevin Amos Kevin Amos Kevin ono na eda ade no oh yeah boot camp in fact July I'm hearing date no July 14th year to
July 14th is Sunday.
And the omokoka this issue CBR and you know Eda Kevin my Eda Amos Kevin Annan Amos Kevin Annan. Me am papa Siado and I did full name number me ampa. Shame on to me Semire Fidino. Amos Kevin Annan. And you come
yes.
boot camp no for boys.
For boys, yeah.
For boys. And I think say unya break akana woni modi nkoma anka the issues will come up because either Kevin works on boys and these things are extremely important for him. Now kwame yemra retirement. Now when we can nyina enwie because mepe say nana oheninto if you say we di 60 plus or no an experience e ka ho a obehunu say ekwan a ifa so handle ye mpanyimfo ewo Ghana ha no hadwene di kan say already no yen sheda yen retirement arrangement ne package no en sheda enye general in Ghana enye and number 2 ne say ankana ye social arrangement ne say na eto Ghana ha no nanka obi ko retirement a obefia said the communal nature of atena ene said ye see relating eboa nipa no krama otena se koreche kakra enne no enhemu kire say urbanization ye man bebre e free nkron ketenketenu mu aba ye kan say aba ekurukasi na eba sa na chese ye ja mpanyifo no atona jeje mu ejemu ho no enti onu nyini isolation. Come, there is something we call empty nest syndrome. Emptiness syndrome, no? So we share the said you see ekofa. Uma omo the next few years, 18 years, no cause secondary school, by 2017 no free ho. Wa no ko. Na aka wonko na wotifie. Enti say uma no ekom nko na motifie ewo saa kwan yi so a wonko wotifie eja wonko wotifie. You can imagine. We drew no baby a uko na wakwaje enkomodie onkrofa no medi nkomokora na wonyom me maame ye ne betena enchen ewo nkra ha da bia no pese okọ ne kurum efiri se open age mate ne madi nkomo ana onya ewo nkra ha because ye free ya ne yakọ ye kanese adwuma ye nyina ne yakọ na eja no nkwanto fie so enti loneliness, isolation, sense of isolation, a deep among the elderly in rural Ghana. We are no free one. Now, same crowd here, Kwame, almost all the big centers now. You see elderly persons walking around the street. Some of them are sitting under certain trees. Ne, at the if you crowd journey, the begging force. It's so bad. Last year, Center for Aging Studies, had 1,400 elderly persons. Now, I think the oldest was 93 years. At the mobile grade hall, a share on my son, on my knee, on my chica say, physiotherapy assessment, a child nutrition, you feed you one a big here and drew to be quadaroma or supply more. And see, come the abuse, the second one, abuse. There's what we call elderly abuse. Now, no, mommy, you which camp to Quantum Jayon? Which campus on the I see more in the northern part now, says which camps in the world. But come here, Adi because what a Saturn and Grovani Masway.
Yeah.
Papa be already baby at 74, 80 something. Now, once a wound, you know, your chance of getting a disability is very high.
Yeah.
In fact, to be honest with you, if you much say, wound, you know, from our 50 years aircon. So when you be a cardiac arrester, in fact, I did a nipa more 50 years to 90 years no a cardiac arrest. It means you cancers. And you obey obia why mra. Na nipa na ofyan no any caregiver no. Onya ya na nko ewuntam because caregiving is a burden.
Yeah.
And a draw the man no mfa man ntam. Ebi buru mo. Okuhwe ebi no ma o ma call homes na mo kam asema. Ne ba buru no ne ba e de aba buru no o ma na duane o pese o speedy up the process na e Saturday ngofo any mass way. So elderly abuse is the other thing. Number 3, Kwame, people haven't also paid attention. Yen papa yen mama no a wo mo nkurase na Kwame, the job they can do is to go into agribusiness and I say a perishable production, say tomatoes ne de ka ho Kwame okoji loan kakra ewo ebi SME bi the man be 5,000 say on fire tomato farms.
Yeah.
Or harvesting. No when ya market for it. Na nkrofo be danika. Enti okọ ekura ozi okọ tomato ko ba na o maybe. As you come we. I mean, know what happens to them? Yeah. They have access to insecticides, pesticides. And it said, or better than you do say they are no afa, but okay. But it sounds say, ahukum ana so be agent and preferring in seminal, who asam kaya canentino, near katakata so. Oh, okay, your cotos were fool, near fano, yes, you know. To be a 9 years, these are the things that are cost. Finally, obisa about near boys and girls, whether there are differences in mental. Yes, and you much say from about 16 years old, our boys are likely to engage 15 years ago in suicidal behavior, and they may end it more than the girls. In fact, near a rough estimate for Ghana, our Ghana have about 20% of adolescents between 15 and 19 years, Kwame, in the past 1 year, are suicidal. That's a quite a serious number. Our Ghana, and now we are no free honor. And number two, me catch us say a member no about 20% of them are our universities no. Mema asho money more than in the past 1 year attempted to kill themselves. And we see
rape.
Yes, 20% of them. It's serious. And now we are no free honor so. Ye mema no. You su ndrubone mo na ndrubone no. And on suicide link near strong power. If you say a distorted reality.
Yeah.
Intino of unknown and Bruno, it may affect your mama, or mutu and must say, or become the chatono, come bullying, eco schools. Yeah, study be among 1,000 or 2,124 students in Ghana. Now, you whom say, and Korana, ye bully among in schools, no, come about 22% of them, or Hanchim in the past 1 year, attempt to say, Omejomonqua. And the bullying, you know, me can say, we shouldn't joke with this. Say, oh, no, oko schools are na normal. You can say, and Krano, in a homo hebi, no. A real says, son. And today, be a make say, headmasters, headmistresses are where your schools are. One more a hesno. Your mamba and memman, baba. Mommy make your policies, a bully, you know, ye jai. If he said, an association with suicide high. And why a man? And now coming last one here examination. Come do you know sir your my boys no examination 8 to me passing but girls no.
Sorry no.
Yes. E come pa. Omo nya de. No man nya de so e put more. Say no our girls are overrepresented, no maybe not overrepresented but their numbers no are higher in the universities than the boys. In Lagos it's about 51%. They are more than the boys. And you see them in undergraduate, masters, and PhD. And PhD. Or more. So and also a big thing Kwame also in the way. Say your man or more education. Education wise no memano and yadia a promo more.
Yeah.
Medical school. A lot of mama or attempting suicide medical school no more your boys. Finally, or can I say a man are resilient as a man. Well, the data doesn't really show because a man so globally are more depressed as a man. And now, I'm more anxious as a man. Although, if you much say, it sounds like mema eta show this machismo way to know. We don't diagnose sanema in them quickly. But the truth is that a man depending on the resilience and you're correct. And depending on the context. For example, in Ghana, we don't see resilience also in our girls.
Yeah.
A lot of them have problems. We don't see it in our boys. If you say, most schools don't have counseling systems. We do not have it. We keep training clinical psychologists. But what do you call most of the schools in Accra? They don't have counselors. They don't have psychologists. I'm only teaching in India watch a moral education or something. They say I'm fine, no can you. They don't have it. I buy Emma Kwama, hire more in the schools. But every year we are training them. And I'm on them. Maybe you're too baby. or a qualified clinical psychologist are currently licensed. The license are already practicing, but most schools are there. They are looking for them. And you need this systems are a cura your my boys and my girls. Even in the universities, PhD on that. It will surprise you that in most universities, need very solid counseling systems. And these things are there. Now, Emma, your mamba, your mambe mental health.
And I have a free lecture, say, on mental health, especially amongst men and memnu boys and girls. Professor Joseph Osafo, our Center for Aging Studies. Ababe a chain.
I can read a quick one.
Yeah.
Sadia Meka, 1 year a boy in Center for Aging Studies on the 4th. I say, Nana can say, baby, and to me, Nana, the Nana or support your pa. Yesterday, you launch a woman. You launch a diano. And you know, a fina and crop for a free now or more a day or more and to work kakra about to come be here. Mammy, just a minute.
Marty.
Details being to you.
Marty. Finally, on this, Nana Abem, Chairman General, I went to Salem at age 9. But you find out that in Scandinavia, for example, they have a men's hotline where real old gangsters, quote unquote, are on standby to counsel boys in need because these men have gone through that stage. 2, all neighborhoods have recreational centers, astroturfs, tennis courts, DJing, etc. 3, craftsmanship helps. Most boys are fatherless, and that is a problem. Minya penny Fred and a day and no abaye. But Prof, no day as I'm the far Kabila sono. Or did you dear about boldly?
What about?
Yeah. Or saying, my wife and I had lost 6 consecutive pregnancies. 6.
In
my mental health and physical health were at breaking point.
Wow.
I do not know and I do not subscribe to the toxic masculinity notion that men do not cry. I cried and I still do when I need to. Men should jettison these toxic notions. Professor Amoy J, University of Cape Coast.
Wow. Prof.
NOD and no.
Prof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Only and you.
Elder Penny of Pentecost. Elder David Okonfo Ameni. Now, is nearing 70 years. I don't say this is a very good program. I don't know say take it to the financial institutions. That is because for who? I say take it to the financial institutions.
Yeah.
Or to the banks and the account in but because of Okofo Yate.
BC I might be saying be brave, but I could also retired or suffer.
Okay.
Say when you say we are suffer into a bay wedding.
Oh.
But or share your papa no ma etwam. Na or share ye no ma. My one woman emwa.
Oh, I say man.
Na or say or a retired pastor or Finso Philip Akwesio Poku. Or say I listen to you every day. Today I want to ask Professor Safo. I am also a retired minister of the gospel.
Okay.
People who are stressed because of their wives sometimes ask me if they can enjoy that happiness from a side chick when their wives are brute towards them and could stress them to death. One or suffer to the other.
Come ready. Me who say ne side be a side chickism no canon. A reaction to a marriage that was not working. And who should the organ? Our ye tino and our side chick. But that cannot be a prescription for everyone. So
well,
it cannot be. I mean, yes, as a tell no. Also in the beginning, one man, one woman, and then maybe me no make our say. There were reasons why our fathers did that. nti ekoye nim no de Kenya fo and the braba one and say and crofo pese e makwa no mo ware mo na ba kokora na ekosa ya ma
Lamte King Rashid says, I wish that you continue the health segment with Professor Safo on Kokrokoo. Danny in Kwabenya says, do we even have to discuss politics today? Apie J in Sunyai says, Kwame, I am 74 years old. Hey, wow. Apie J Penisa, I'll send you messages. Wow. Apie J says, I am 74 years old. My mother died almost 3 years ago. Hey, really? And they were drinking.
Ha! Oh, maybe about how many years old?
Maybe are thereabouts.
And 90 something.
But anytime I remember our days together, I weep. APJ, lucky you. At least over 70 and some of me would drink. Tell Professor Safo, the church should stop asking men to stay with one wife. The side chicks are a source of relief. King David, King Solomon, Abraham in the Bible. Steve, that's another matter for another day. That's another matter for another day. Nana, any comments? Any comments? Just free comments on the discussing. Now, Pacho, be my clinic come Pacho. Pacho, you.
I'm say, Kwame,
yeah,
Asama, Efa Ubia home fat, Efa. Me a who crossing Marima. Because Obia Papa, your Berima.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now, Obia soon we are Berima, your Berima.
Yeah.
Obia Baberima, your Berima.
Yeah.
So, Papa, Apu Muding. When an Aberima Apu Muding, wo Baberima Apu Muding, Obia Kuno, made the Sana Mekan, Bia Kuno, your Berima.
That's right.
I made the LGBTQ no me recognize it. Recognize it because of Ghana young amamere and the minya mesumunti made me recognize it. Into bia kuno your berima. Na se what can merima pomuden ne lititiru adwene mu apomuden ho asem de na ya asem a ehia papa because say am passe merima ne ye ufidua ana abusua no ni tedua na ne fapem na se how bia to me how oberima na ahoden na apomuden ni titiru adwene mu apomuden da na kire se asema how pa anti metie Professor Safo in fact me den so se wanya sa center na erehwe mpanyimfo merima mpanyimfo apomuden na ni titiru adwene mu apomuden no kwa me se wo hwa efi 1975 Beijing mia fa hodi ni won yedi anamuntu
Beijing 95 momo
Dabi
I started from 75 and in 95 na did in the bike
1975
wow
75 Beijing 75 me kai papa
I thought it was 74
Dabi ne wo fi asese mia merima shawonso oman ahye wonso ache nti no won pagyaw mea ne mofra ayem miawa yedi na ya de a ehia se yeye na kwame nia ehaw ne se yetumi tu sa na mon na besi ne no about 2 or 3 years ago mitie BBC documentary BBC kire se even in Europe and in Britain no and they were relating it to Mia one page won na Miawa suku kono won yedi nkwa anim no akoba say merima refi suku they are school dropouts in Europe and especially in Britain enti ekoye say emphasis no ana say eniko Mia yedi hu yiye no mum no ankoye say o yenye nanka obia na berima na akoye say nsa benkum ne nsa nifa say nsa nifa no na eye den dodo nti benkum na ye mrewa ye nhye benkum no den ya hye benkum no den ma fede nifa no so asan abaye mrewa biu enti am say imbalance be aba the whole approach to this gender issues no na fede area affect merima na me de me hwa menye scientist so hwa ɛsono mmea bɔbeo na ɛsono mmarima bɔbeo nneɛma pii wɔ hɔ a wohwɛ onipa ahoɔden a physically no mmarima wɔ ahoɔden sɛn mmea nti adwuma bi wɔ hɔ a ɛyɛ wala sɛnom ne ade yi ɛmsɛ no mmarima tumi yɛ no mmɔ mmea bɛtumi ayɛ de but nneɛma a ɛhia ahoɔden ne mmati nea wɔde onipa ahoɔden yɛ no mmarima wɔ no mmɔ sɛn mmea enti sɛ kɔba sɛ fei de saa ahoɔden no anka ɛsɛ sɛ yɛhwɛ na dwumadi ɛsɛ sɛ ɛboa na ɔman anaasɛ abusua kɔ n'anim no ɛsiane sɛ ya shift attention no to the detriment of mmarima no nti ɛrema yɛn another problem there ɛne na prof ɛyɛ sɛ moafie ase sɛ bɔdehwɛ saa de na ɛyɛ nokware na amammerɛ ne yɛn anyansasɛm ne atetesɛm no bi wɔ hɔ a ɛno nso ɛm sɛ amoa papa na mekae menena bia de mewerɛ mfi ne da meyɛ bɛyɛ 8 years or says 9 years na da could be weekday bango school na menena bia se okɔ afum nti saa de a mene no nkɔ afum walate na baabi a yɛn afuo no wɔ no kwa me efi krom efi fie kɔ afuo no mo no minsura mɛka se ɛyɛ akɔ bɛyɛ 7 or so miles into the forest wɔfrɛ hɔ alenkebiso walate na wobɛsan bɛpɔ yi na waforo na wasan na waforo na wasan bɛyɛ 3 or 4 times
wakoma kra reto
na laten so culture ne sɛ memene da na yɛkɔ afum weekday no nipa maako pɛ na yɛkɔ afum nti memene da wɔn akɔ school during the week wɔn ayɛ bibi a yɛkɔ afum nti wo fa afum kwan so a nipa pii yɛbɛre kɔ ne bereba weekday yɛkɔ afum kwan yi so krana na mene na bi anim kakra na me so mi di na achi a few years mekɔ kakra na mekɔ hu sɛ aboa bi da kwan no fi footpath no deep in the forest, very deep into the forest. Na me say, me sure me fi ase frɛ nana aboa bi da odi anim ɔkɔ. Na me say aboa bi de kwan mu ha me sure nti no nana sambra na babua. No so aboa be. Na me say no so o sen ya ontumi nka we sa caterpillar na odan afafranton. Kesi this lemon green okura otu ahon na ni
jama ayo so yo wo
me tell me ma de ko na oso no ntumi move na oda ho na me fi asese me so na me na so onya ohwe nti hurutra na bra na sa abra wa no ko na me gina ko
weja ho
Why aso me game me ntam kasi o weja me ho no ko na bi me gina ko na me su obi ko obi ma enya Saturday dia sanga yo afi me gina ho na me su me wo hana fortunately o man bia oye young neighbor na nakwa bi oye do ye ex soldier of course the second world war ibi wa hye ne kaki no wa hye ne eye Wellington boots no kura na second obetu no so abrante na danga sem na so nana abuga yi mi suro no so eyi de onya hwe onka ndo ordinary cutlass no ode fa abua no to no bushes no say na wona hena na ma mi so me na fu hena wa no so sa nti mo fu do we mi say we chire o no ne me na te ko du no frɛ me na bia me na bi si ma me no wa no chi ano no sa mi batu abranti wo kwan so na ninkuto do sua na do no so ho muan mi a me yo bia no mi se me ni obere manam na biribi si obebo mo ba aso mi ke ni brisa o obe ono yo bere manam ono yo bere manam o so osuro dia
na wadi fian
me ye 8 or 9 years what's the ha na mi a me yo bia no mi se me ni obere manam na biribi si obere manam bebo mo no obere manam so osuro dia na ne ho ni mfa so onsan go
interesting story
abofra we di na yes so obere manam
na me ka che be che se me ni brisa ma anti aseda me na bia se ono yo bia no onsuro na mi a me yo obere manam mi se mi suro dia na me ho ni mfa so
nti sankofie
no hu se ni nkuto no nam na asem bi sia wa hwe kwen go be fa so abone ho ban we say no me obere manam nam professor what is our story
This is just interesting.
Story.
Yeah.
Me didn't feel that. Now it was so. To ask myself, but for some reason, I can't make a change. Who say no, and then. As I said, me take responsibility for. Maybe that was the positive side. It was an extreme case.
Exactly.
But for a 9-year-old, that is shocking.
Me say, Mantia said that.
See the gender norm.
Yes.
But the other side of the story, so they say, Ofio Hono, Wuko Fibu, Obaka Josie, Oberiman Siabola, Oberiman Nuedian. Nyemfi ho de saa norms no ni ho obia so abola oberima so abola obia wo fufu oberima wo fufu obia nu aduan oberima nu aduan. It was a completely different and peculiar setting, and for some reason no boy but e no kware nso say yanhwe yi a ye be ma merima feel say wo ye dade bra wo ye nipa ye be ma merima feel say one day Berima nsu senior prof kan and penyimfo nso kan but I made this at the very beginning me ba na meti prof refer to Yesu ankasa Yesu swin then na ma Yesu swin na adamfo a open na asem papa on ne nam Lazarus wow Yesu no Nyankopon wa ba honam nso no ye honam kote yawo enti okoto owu no so ase nipa kora a ono akoso kojan owufo no still a calm usin na Yesu to me ya na me oberema me sua na ye den me nipa me sua na ye den nti sa values no bi nso ya eye deeply ingrained in our culture no nso no aye negative no yenhu say onipa wie onipa na me last point any last 2 points experience a ebia obi afam a eye yaw eye den nti ebetimi ama why hardened orenti obi ya ono me momo de me hu ne say the very opposite because esane mankasa nso me experiences bi amafamu nti no say obi wo a similar situation mu a ehia say metumi to no fo a metumi de to me de ho na aka chenso saadi ma afamu pen me fe mu no say ne say nti no me nye ni say obi afa oya obi mu a na eseso ye na adwene se esese obi anso for ya onum
okay
there be if you say ye munom ye adwene se oya wa ye fa mu bra ye mofra ne ye nyin no ye pese ye make sure say ye ma wore mfa mu bi because ye hu se ne yete nti me de me je se obi ewo situation bi a wafam na enu nti onya depression and mental issues bi na ene wa nya mo a obi rekosa situation ma onhu se oya wono fam no ebi na atoso nipa na no so omwa no yeah me last point and retired merima sene na no meka no me retire legally me retire ache kakra ya ko be mfirihie edu akakakra
nana
aka be mfirihie biesa na edu enti one thing I don't know whether it's just because of the kind of adwuma me semi journalist na me call into adechere university adechere na me sang ba into politics sa niema bi esa nyina ya niema bi a sebe se nyesa yare na akawa at any time utumi ya active me yiye ebinom nso background no ente saa enti niame hu ne se we are retired na wo bribi a ema wo koba wo keka ho enya adwuma kora ema osika eso ahibia mpo na se ya ade a etumi ma wa ho keka na wo nte fa akwa ya ade a ebetuma abu papa yo enti prof nia monso mo be ya center na mo ye ebetuma keep won a ebi a wo ye sedentary se na wo kan no ebetuma ma won a ya active kakra ebinom te say lawyer for the doctor for say we tumi nyinga na wo gusu ye adwuma because of the profession no the background no but ebinom nso de ente saa ntem say saa nhihye ni biba na mpanyimfo a wa akọ retirement package wo Ghana hade we say wo kan ho asem be how because so we are abang adwuma wo retirement package ne ejina wo social security contributions so wa akatua and I bet you the pension will be at the end of what retirement. Work at you and a mudru and ɛboa ɛsom no ɛte den ansa na wɔn ayi sɛ employer no bɛ contribute 12.5%. Also 12.5%.
na also do yɛ aka ho.
Yo, na wɔn nso wɔde wɔde aka ho ansa abɛyɛ 17.5. Na sɛ wakatua ebi a n'amerika sɛ ekura mpo sɛ wakatua woyɛ senior officer minimum nea wɔgye within the public services.
Trying to say about 7,000 cedis kura.
10,000 cedis a month. Exactly. Enti no wo bɛkɔ retirement no inflation aka no. Nneɛma foforo bi nso aka no. Na ɛno nkoto ne ade a wode w'ani kɔto so sɛ ɛrekɔhwɛ wɔ retirement mu a definitely wo bɛyɛ depressed.
Yeah.
Enti saa nneɛma no nyina enti nam sɛ bi so obi ka sɛ momfa nkɔka nkyerɛ financial institutions no. But ɛyɛ sɛ aban nso any coho connected back to public sector salaries, right. And then asaba to pensions ne sanya nti say anamongi ene twea professor ene niku no retwe adwene gina sanse nu so no eye hia sem papa because we are brantia we be aba to yen so yere ko yen anim
na me huna na ohin into so your penny enemy oh busy enemy
come on po kan yako ade bia na na kan ya me pese me just we be count say na o kan say obi o ha ofa wa ya omo a come e fa de bi say post traumatic stress disorder PTSD say obi fa oya obi mu a etumi ka na dwene opra enti ya na most of the time studies now it is fa adim say ipram but recent studies make the aso de na kan no actually say enye won nyina na ofamu a ipram and now you want bibi e fa na PTG post traumatic growth
a beno
to ofire mu obremu na wenya a meaning making element of it say ade am fam yi ahihye matenka say menya atenka e de manipa enti eno so wo
I see
to bi wo famu a
interesting. Elder Samuel Anini ewo Finland ot elder penal is a church of Pentecost 4. I say I'm enjoying the program. You won't believe that Finland has been the happiest country in the world many times over. Yet the suicide rate in Finland is very high.
Yes.
And it has to do with loneliness.
Yes.
So let's think about it. By the way, greetings to Elder Darkon. A belated wish to him from his daughter Christabel Darkon in Finland. Kwesi edu se nananto ni twini e French yo na why be latte connection so what we need back ti obeni mi no pa ya boding back na obehu I say say ana me catch us we bodo
latte Esiedu no yakan esiedu
wa no because
yes
I say me friend open ko si esiedu nti wa ke dem
esiedu
open ko si esiedu
sana la tafo pronounce
Nana Oheninto will be a good marriage counselor. He should consider that and shelf politics. His also his equipping is top notch. I'm equipping from Akwemufie. His eloquence evokes my love for the language. He should keep it up, say Obama. But there was one. Nana, Commander now they're saying about World Conference on Women. Obidi upon a brain. I just thought I'll just read it out for you. So also Kwame, actually the World Conference on Women was 1975.
Wow.
Also it was held between 19th of June and 2nd of July. In Mexico City, Mexico.
The first one.
Yo.
Beijing, yes, I document.
Yes. Also, it was the first international conference held by the UN.
That is correct.
Wow.
To focus solely on women's issues and mark the turning point in policy directives. After this meeting, women were viewed as part of the process to develop and implement policy rather than recipients of assistance. So from 75 Ain't fast forward no and the bar Beijing 95. So 20 years later was Beijing. Women were viewed as part of the process to develop and implement policy, rather than recipients of assistance.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Very interesting.
But you were right.
Very, very, very interesting.
Secondary school.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
You were right.
75, I was in Form 3. Yes.
This one says, when my father went on retirement, he had only one close friend in the neighborhood. They met quite often, and anytime I go to visit him and he's not around, he's sure to be found at his friend, Mr. Kumsin's place. My father died a month after Mr. Kumsin died. Loneliness is what killed him. Wow, this is interesting. This one says, my cousin Nano Heninto is making us proud this morning. Kudos to him. Major General Amweisi. Na many
into about the good many who you can pay. When the men's cow.
Many of your core retirement now say Onupo de Nitrinkwa or a British citizen so home. But I'll say, Kwame, I'm listening to you guys. I returned from London last night. I take from his Nano Hinto's experience with his grandmother is that you're only a man if you take responsibility and initiative to face and solve difficult solutions. Retirement is not easy. For those of us who contributed less towards their SNIT contributions when they were in active service, retirement without further contracts in terms of consultancy or board opportunities is not easy. Thank God I'm enjoying my retirement. Well, I'll leave it there. I just don't want to mention your name. I'm learning a lot this morning. Thank you so much, Michael Jojo G. Have a beautiful day. And Nana Freddy Abram.
Come
I'm saying the program here.
Baby, now into edgy fans. No, near good. I have make a couple. Say, men so menina free a crap a cropongi make a beer and say,
no, comes here.
Okay, you have a cropon.
Me, mammy, papa.
Wow.
And you
Odin actually.
Hey, me can hear now.
Your great grandfather.
Oh, Mrs. Kato Henny.
Yo.
If you were Mrs. Kato Henny, me bush any. Me no. Into me call Cropon. I am Bobo no me with you. Apart from crapping in Fiancas.
Okay. Or connect back to Martinson. So when you say Martinson family houses near being
okay. Oh, I see. I didn't know that.
I see.
Now, Corey, men's a mamma do by him say, Menya, a be also a mania fans at time for Subedoso.
Twazo.
Nina, me sum. Near Dick, I am sent common about who here. And I am say, then I mean, what my dream to me, coins so America. And he said to the beer, ye jack near money who here no near Kika Semwa, and should them many panting in Wasi. It is all fruit trotro, ufa taxi, uti and coma ukruma. To do na I am a man of some no way fanny. Because when he has some no, a bronia cosmos, a bini as a mother ponsi. I come in my main champagne, be na menu free ho. And not the friends I would have for no endorse. Ever me make me now for Baku Philip, Baku de Larry do you boo. Come is okay container.
Oh, pa, over here.
Aye, Larry do you boo. And Yenipa Anas.
Yeah.
And Kokubaku.
Kokubaku at 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, he turned 70. He did 1070 yesterday.
Wow.
When you know in Shrados, good dear Nessus 70 enough from I had the power. Yamin Shan and Twasun Shan.
Amen.
Man, fan to the Ankaya man for say a fee or chin a dinner fee.
25 years.
Bona basushra no direct ase. Ne nkwane ahode ode ma no ne adwen a ode di anim e wo twemam. Yesranto aso. Ye bode rose achemfo ni adofo obia mra fi ne engie ni niema hodo a edaponso a nhihia hodo a edaponso a ye ya de bekaika ye ho e wo sa mfi ya abe akra nyame sha ye da radias so de ofami ode wo afami ya itumi no ye juma me de kwame hono mabakose mu nkakra obekaya obedi hin no na wo ayu
Really good.
Debbie mile 7
99 I'm really good.
Okay, but okay.
Now hitting to na started Kokrokoo mile 7.
Good.
Maybe by the following year.
Good. Maybe I say the following year. Yes, it will be the following year. Yes,
2000.
And not change launch in the environment. Into me bow so that me friend to ma. Now hear me din say would me and I'm in front to ma.
Camper.
Nti ave na uhwe menim na uhwe menufu manka hwe me front ma nti ye the radius me ye no free ho no e me masemi me ne dikai aware na opening bi de ba na doctor science of work kan wasema one can aware do na boa eboa yenya isi etwa ye ho ntro boa
sankoma we de echiri ye bedi ho ankomo
nana odeta ide
wo de se me be kaba
nana emre no no se into the bonopo
ne to su bio na no into bibio na bakosem no kopue no asekire na e ba na menini pakro no se atwempa
ye moni wen
ono ana emfa ono mpo ne kan ewi ase no asekire pa ne se be ma de uhu okon a uhwe na wakon tia udin konim na akọwanim ye ntwen san ensu ye ka se be ma ensu a enye ni aye kikan kan bi nko a e ka ho pa ni ampanifo kan nyina mefo ni nyina so e ka ho pa ba me menti ase ne se ye ka se be ma ensu a okonda wanim no asem aba no ye tena se adwen ho ehwe kwan e be fa so edisu nkonim akoyanim eno ana me de meti ase na afrina ana tuwe meti apai metiko apai na debi ye woni ayedi hu yawo me papa say me gidi se obi antumi enka nkyerem se no nya bema no e bema mu bema obisa ne namfo a eti ase ani won ani nim no enso mi hu se osu na ne nyonko brebo aso ka papa ya obi kan se ne nyonko ba ku ya no no zu me papa nyonko brebo papa ni wu ye no me hu me papa se osu ma na me hu bida te osu ya ma me nsu but it didn't make him less a man inti ye wo ni ayesu fa ho na so okunda wani mu esesa okunko me de menti ase ni se nyame bo wiase no o ma bema enkwa no o ma ne na sede ene na dwuma esosoye na se ogitum se Brunisi hunter mentality ono de nso obekọ akọkọ apri bibi dia befi okọ akọkọ apri bibi dia befi ne ma bi wo ho a ohia na wanya kokudro ante wo ase enya sa ne ma no echiape na fe wanya ukọ ahomitie you must be emotionally strong ese unya sa kokudro ese wadwen tembia no wadwen da wo so uti wo ho ase eya kokudro asem eka ho ese se uti your environment, you're sensitive to your realities. If so ushe nipa so udi nipa nim san hihye ne wo ebe wo da indi no enso se mix issues no enso se tie ho ase ne me enka se ye ka se be me nso a eya de boni na no sebe ye ne ni nyansanse ye ni nyansanse e wase kire ebia ye ne ye be ye nim no ya chiachia na kakra yakofo abrofo ene ye ne ya mane ne ya mamre ene ye de aforo ye ho so ɛna ɛkyerɛ yɛ kwan bi ne yɛnhu neɛ wokɔ yɛnkura ase na wokɔhu bɛrima adeɛ baako a ne yɛatwerɛ to a sɛ woba aborɔfosɛm mu ne saa ɛsɛ o abibifoɔ mmarima mpɛ yɛ mma hwɛ nom ne saa nneɛma but it was never true wokɔ nkura ase na hu ɔpanin ne ho nananto story koraa ɔkae koraa panin na ɔbɛto no sɛ na yɛ bɛrima ohu neɛ sɛ ɔyɛ a ɔbɛma wakɔ n'anim na if a man didn't care anka mfa no ho biribiara wɔ ne nhyehyɛe ne sɛ ne ɛkɔ mede ɛmadwene ne sɛ ewiase sakraeɛ no nneɛma bi wɔ hɔ a yɛnte yɛn ho ase wɔ mu ɛm sɛ prof koraa kakra ɛsɛ sɛ yɛte yɛn ho ase wɔ nneɛma bebree ho ne yɛhu sɛ ewiase asakra kwan bi so nti bɛrima asɛdeɛ no in principle that hunter mentality ɛnsesa da but kwan ɛfa so ɛdeɛ adwuma a ɛbɛma wɔagyina ayɛ nipa sɛnea ɛsɛ fata ma wɔayɛ w'adwuma sɛnea bɛrima sɛ fata nani nto kasa ɔse bɛrima ware ɔbaa na ɔbaa ware bɛrima na LGBT ne nea keka ɔnye ntom mene ne gyina 101% na ne sɛ adeɛ a ɛyɛ wɔyɛ asɛdeɛ a yɛyɛ a ɛma fie ɛkɔ yie metetefoɔ no wohwɛ wɔn suban a aware dodoɔ no wɔn a yɛ wɔn deɛ yie no ansɛ fie ɛna wokɔ biara bakɔsɛ mu a nipa dodoɔ no ɛnam Ghana ha no aware dodoɔ asefoɔ no nti no yɛmfa yɛnsa benkum ɛntene nkɔ so ɛnka sɛ ɛhadwe ebi nana no owura ba benkum pagya ma aborɔfo no sɛ adan na yɛdeɛ ne deɛ wɔn kutia nso wɔn si geege deɛ ɛyɛ asɛmpa nanka ɛno ne wei nanka deɛ ne boa ɛna ɛno no mu no asɛm ɛda po no so wonim sɛ mmarima no a wɔn ware dodoɔ no a wɔn awareɛ no kɔ yie they are stronger and happy. I'm telling you minimum crisis here mrantia
science and data
yes minimum penifo bi won kra on yerenum dodo and you can tell how strong they are
minimum penifo bi so makache obi ba kwa kache se kwame se obetumi a ema mienu de mesraw. And these are older men with more than one wife.
Yeah, but
to each his own.
Kwame, kai crow, papa.
Yamia do you.
Bibaka, Koton, Bibaka say, we only say per home betcha. Into be any honoma any but.
Okay.
But will be into no crow woman say, and also and say she. Monsieur Uko Ubia Abakosemwa. You are the descendant.
We are all descendants of a polygamous home.
And you know, you are friends have been come and nature. And I
but Emery's was his song.
The only thing
some can say someone will be out there.
Discussion, context, it's a bit different because you see, in here can be psychological, scientific, not just cultural.
Cultural, yeah.
But you see, Nana, and you know, creds happy, and you know, creds say, yeah, I'm saying, say, and you know,
Prof, no, I'm saying mainly the Prof Kane. He's speaking as an expert.
Yeah.
Or you be a Westia, Aquadari, Unipa June.
Peace FM.
The Ajima Pumudine, Sinisika, Nipediani, a yam Merimade, a yam Miade, a yam Mufrade, a yam Penyon for denominade. Ye won near maybe a young ye could a young native intelligence ye de can asem I know the ubia any general knowledge about native intelligence a yin so de one year research in studies over how many centuries decades near de na worry my data it is a percy say polygamy and also a psychological and a social benefiter be just no you better maka. But it has to
maybe this is a this is a conversation we should have one day.
I mean, so now come in here say and sign komo ye when no be this question about to prof any.
Yeah.
Prof so yi no. Wa manwo.
Oh, there is so one yan to me say polygamy and psychological health. Yes sound. Prof so into no me make. My problem to me ankwa.
And now
Prof, all can only
anecdotes.
Exactly.
One baby, question if you buy an software.
Yes.
And also the man profile yes software.
Yes.
It is software versus
Software.
And me nyamisroni period. How you translate that
is your own business.
And I make say Christopher any Jew for Persia call one crata na one this Radinuma. Abraham there no
Yafanka.
David
Yafanka Solomon Yafanka.
Yesu there no can utie one can say Yesu say men worry do one kasa. Yentro obey.
No, yes, say in the beginning.
In the beginning as yen saying. Before niaka. Tie asem amukan no mema asem. And I make a tro say. Eka ho. And no see a solution. Nti wow to me no why. Wow to me no smell how because e de obrebebrewo. Nti no it is a solution. And me and stigmatize and can say ɛno nka ho ɛboapa nti no media nkomo no baby akosi media ni here metitru ne say sociologists no psychologists won nyina should begin to recognize that in a new world for Ghanaian, the African man, nyema because wa esisi adjustments accordingly nka no na obomofo okọ kwaimu obeba na nam kra no na yire ni age waje wadwidwa won yare aduane ofi bi nso fi afu mu bae na can say bema no aduane if started
no say there was a think is a bema but on ni fie
yeah I'm agree
we are very mo you be
I am agreeing with him say that mentality say na good
onena bia something
sa adwen no uko titifo no mu a sa adwen no na ni ho sa abrofosem e baaye na broni native ni fie ni veranda so na oba no hye kitchen no ne na abibifo ni bisua titif mamen kamedie nana titifo no okokwaye mu a anaso okofu mu a oyede na no didi onu aduane wo ho yes as nti oni maduane no obafia ne ye na aduane but okwaye mu a onu aduane nti be ma nu aduane.
But that's the point that I was emphasizing.
So that's why I didn't say. That's what I was saying. Say I wasn't going against him. He's the one misinterpreting my thing. Sadia no, it's entity na wo ho na buafie. Entity pa ma ye nyina. Nti no in some way can tia mema and be titifo no in can tia mema. It was all negatives no. Ya kana ama mema ho chire hu sese no. There are more recent things as far as I've come to understand. Bitia bakosem bitia mpemfo kan nyina abomu a ya said ya esese ye ensese yesru nyema bi wasi tumi ye how so we trim no em say prof na pages asem say ukọ boys for more inshishe mo be no obi kokana asem a ehwe no obi afa no wakoda na di na wagunu nimu ase nti esa na be ma mpesa kana asem nti no sa na ma na se mema ti ase se mema kuo ne mema inshishe bi wo ho eboa titru ne se mema bedi ne ho no kre wate ne ho ase so pe efutuo ne ho onimni okone ho ne kasa eyeye na nisum bi esusu bia enye nisusu nko me kai mrebi me mofra brem ne ese bemensu na mesi wa because bemensu pe na kire se ohuru efi na wo ni trim no nti ubusu bia ohoto wa hwe wani na okọ. In other words, you can cry,
it's a relief,
but don't make it don't make it a burden on your mentality. Inti no me de nkoma akoso nyina no like everybody else me fuaso eboapa.
Prof minua baako o say me money didn't me mo. I say Kwame, you know my story. My ex-wife and I lost 8 within 10 years. 8 miscarriages. Wow. You remember it led to my divorce. I had to go into hiding from myself for almost 6 months. Just to clear my head. You know it's not easy. Most of us men just put up a brave face, because society hates and chastises men who show any form of depression. Some of us have had a different mindset. I went out to seek help and I spoke out. I'm happy you guys are talking about it. God day. Remember, 8 miscarriages, bro. 8 in 10 years. Eventually led to a divorce.
I don't know whether it's the same thing. Putting up a brief is the same thing they call emotional intelligence.
No, emotional intelligence is different. It's very different.
Emotional intelligence, no.
Yeah.
I say, one kasa utumi detect the way I over calibrate emotions, and at the same time, you know how to respond to somebody's emotions.
Yeah.
And say winya wow nimdiye nti ase say matenkai say na mahye no. Na wenya obi nso nti ase ama no. Say asumasi exactly asumasi the odi be say medisa atenkai issue.
Kwan say me fa so som.
Exactly so som. And the obi emotional intelligent or you first and foremost ono age na tenka wa hye ne yi. And on one so very manage on one no manage
environment.
It's a very powerful thing.
As young men and children growing up in Kumasi, we also our fathers as superheroes. Kwame, the first time I saw my father cry was at his mother's burial, and it was right at the funeral grounds. I was so shocked I couldn't move. It was then I realized that my superhero is a human being after all. Kwame, for about 2 minutes, my father was crying. Before I heard some family members shouting, "Hey, go and hold your father before he falls." We all rushed to him, but my mother kept quiet and insisted that we let him cry because it has been inside of him for so long, he needed to exhale.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is an Ashanti home, you can imagine.
You can imagine.
Wow. It doesn't make sense, you know. Some of Brian Boabin, don't ask me silly questions. He says, many modern men believe one woman is sufficient for their needs. But tell me, what's the difference between having one wife and multiple side chicks and having 2 or 3 wives? Some of Brian Boabin, go and find out. When you find out, come and let me know.
If
you know, you okay.
Very personal decisions.
I like that. Very personal decisions. And then you live with the consequences thereof.
Maybe I'm okay now with the consequences. Now then, the consequences.
Now, Obi Kebiamo, or say, tell Professor Osafo to approach the issue of polygamy as a social scientist and not as a pastor.
Thank you.
I haven't asked my friend's permission.
Right.
Yes.
Madam for be permanent, you're very close or a cremony. Nah, but then I'm anti-ache. And me were massive, so a young man cry. And I know them say, Oko fast kakra, and the maker say, also were massives. Indeed, the last outdoor, yeah, I'm going to with them. You said, say, Oberhena, Washington, Ubi Channel House. You, David, person will become. I'm sure now. Consider say young lady now within this short time I was 6. I'm sure there be my worry back on account. And I'm saying, do you need another one? Sure. Okay, this is you. My sexual drive me very high. And you know me, yeah. I'm sure now with some time ago now Mr. Mediano. Very high. But then kakra a bar form. Now we're 6. Woman in a film best at secondary school, primary to secondary. Sika saying, Ubeni Kakra, and Ketway Samba.
Yeah.
We didn't so we Anna, and Timmy Catcher and said, Now but take a crab. Recently, many years ago, say, honorable, I said, I have now catch him. I am Poe. They say, me, I'm who's to me, not I didn't me, mano. Didn't come on school near there, or to me, no extra classes near there. Then Munkoleko 10, 12. PTA meetings. Me, they are 6 o'clock. You go PTA meeting or Cape Coast. ɛsɛ me kɔ PTA meeting wɔ Kumasi ɛsɛ me kɔ PTA meeting wɔ Accra. It was a serious matter. Me kɔ Prempeh College, me kɔ Holy Child, me kɔ Galaxy, me kɔ Roman Ridge. It was crazy. Until me catch and say, look. So this was from Miami experience. Me catch and say, young man. My 6. And I said no so too much. And I
cry.
But I no crampo.
O say me so 6 Oh no, my 6.
No,
me mother's
FM.
Wait a minute.
Prof,
Anyway,
I have to wrap up. If I am your switch,
we be say Obwa Center na. Number 059
059
60
60
244
244
41.
Patrobium
059 60 244 41.
next man do by Bessan Bosso.
Mati.
But now you want Yaman me and Sass and I Becca, but Sheffield Monday Becca because you'll still be hot stories. Alan Chermantin gains traction in latest info analytic election poll. Former President Mahama meets the press on the Mahama conversations. Baumia settles on Napo or Chinomi unveiling will Kumasi. By next Monday, I'm sure it will still be very topical. Into Monday, about any men's mental health, you better political health. Very, very importantly so. But Prof, that's and pay for the education. Now, no, he need to hear that say.
Kwame.
Yes.
Prof from Frey in the school, no, Frey. Yeah, man.